Hi, everyone. This is Katrina. Katrina Eats and Reads. And I am again not eating, but I will have something for eating for you soon on this channel. I promise. Um, I've kind of been changing how I'm eating a little bit. So, um, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about a book entitled Mother Swamp. I've got my little notes right here so I don't forget what I'm talking about. And um, it's going to be a quick video. I'm not going to talk super long. I actually am really enjoying reading very slowly. I'm not going super fast this year, like with a whole ton of books. I am right now listening to a book by Jessie Q. Sutanto, and this is the third book in her series of the Aunties books. So of course that's what I related to as being an auntie. But this one is called The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties. So this is the book right here. See if I can get it to look kind of clear. But anyway, um, it's about this young lady who has three aunties and her mom. There are these four sisters who all the men, there's a curse on their family, and the curse is that all the men leave. So if they have a baby and the baby is a boy, when he gets of age, he ends up leaving. The husbands leave, boyfriends leave, whatever. There's a curse like on the family, is what it's believed. These folks are a combination of Chinese and Indonesian. And so it's a very interesting take on their world. So I've enjoyed the first two books. So when I do the review, I'll talk about the first two a tiny bit, and then I'll go into this third one because I love these books. This third one is taking a little bit of time to get kind of started, but it's interesting because anyway, I'm not going to say because then I'm going to start reviewing it. So, but what I am going to review today is a book called Mother Swamp by Jesamyn Ward. It is a very short story, and it is like a fever dream. Um, Someone's having it when people have started to come out of slavery. So there's still slavery in existence, but it's kind of coming out, and then people have like their slaves have their own kind of area, town, or whatever. And it's in Louisiana, and it's like in the swamp. So it's way back in you know, the woods or the boonies, as some people call it. And it is a very different time of what we're used to. Like it's everything's so modern now. This is a very difficult read to process. You have to understand that you are dealing with slavery and super, super long time ago, but where people just didn't have things. And it was almost like, and it was so odd to read about, but it was similar to what I just talked about in the book, The Good, the Bad, the Aunties. But Jessamyn Ward explores how in some of these communities there were just women in certain communities who took care of everything. And then there were men in other communities. Now, we didn't explore what happens in those communities where the men are, but a lot of women didn't know who their fathers were, didn't know their brothers, because once they had babies, if it was a boy or male, then it went over to the community. After a certain amount of time, they, kind of get them together, and then they send them off to be with the men. And so it's very different because a lot of the young ladies don't know how to deal with males or whatever. And then they end up, when they see them, things transpire, and then they come back and they're, with child kind of thing. Um, but it was pretty daunting. In reading this, like I said, it's called Mother Swamp. So it's about these ladies living in the swamp and what they have to endure. And so it was a lot to kind of deal with. But the beautiful thing about the story, one of the most beautiful things, is the young lady, her name was Afice, Afice, the main character. And she knew like 9 generations back about her family. So she knew, she didn't know her father. She met him kind of accidentally. That was a weird thing in the book. This father just kind of shows up out of nowhere. But she knows 9 generations back about her mother, her grandmother, her great grandmother, her great great grandmother, her great 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 grandmother, all the way back 9 generations. And she understands how they came, what they were about, the medicines that they used, the way they used the earth and the land to get by, how clothing and water worked. And when I say how water worked, when streams are coming by, they know when to use the water, when not, when to get food from it, what medicine from what wood, from what herbs, things like that. And it was a piece that kind of came over me to read that, because to find out that kind of thing is in now, this is fiction, so it's not real, but she did do a lot of research to find out, these things, and talk to people um who know about some of this stuff. And it was really interesting to learn about living in the swamp. This is something I would, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine, even researching, because the depths of the pain of these people was amazing. People would disappear because they were taken by someone. They're in this kind of safe space. They're not necessarily um slaves who um live on a plantation. They kind of live in their own space, but they still kind of work for, different owners. So anyway, if you read this, it is a very short story. It is a very interesting one. If you just want to stay away from slavery and things like that, I can understand there's a lot of people who are doing that right now. But if you want to if you feel like you have the, the bandwidth and the capacity to do it, maybe you could go and find out about this short story and learn a little bit about Mother Swamp. So by Jesamyn Ward, and I would recommend it. If it's something that you think you can deal with right now, maybe take the plunge and learn about this intriguing story of slavery and living in swamps. So she is also looking at, going sort of in modern time too. So it's got a lot of twists and turns. So I hope you enjoy it. That is all I'm going to talk about today. And my next book, like I said, will be The Good, the Bad, the Aunties. And I might have another book also that I review the next video. Take care of yourselves. I hope you had a wonderful Easter, and I hope April is treating you well. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.